Good afternoon, Drew Holley with BIS Benefits. I'm joined by Jesse Couch. As always, I like to say this is America's most boring podcast. We're going to talk about commercial fleet insurance. What does that mean? Commercial auto insurance? Is it the same as commercial fleet? Jesse, educate me.
So just as an overview regarding commercial fleet insurance, if you have less than 10 vehicles, that would not be considered a fleet.
That's commercial auto.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so what they can do, if you have over 10, the carrier will just give you a fleet auto ID card. So if you're a larger business and you may have 100 trucks, sometimes we'll put that on a composite rated program. And so at the end of the year, we just send a list of autos to the carrier and they say, okay, you ended up with 75 vehicles. It's a fixed rate per vehicle. And then they just true it up that way.
And they give you kind of one ID card that covers all the cars, even though they're different cars or trucks or vehicles?
That's right. Yeah,
Okay.
It's just kind of a blanket coverage but that's typically for larger businesses. Most mid-sized companies, they have 2 to 20 trucks, something like that. So we still schedule every vehicle. The carrier will typically give you about a week of automatic coverage, but at the end of the day, you still want to notify your agent just to let us know that it is scheduled. So
schedule just basically means you put it as a line item, almost like a note in the policy, so it's covered.
Yeah, we're just making an endorsement to the auto policy saying, hey, we've added a new vehicle, we've changed out vehicles. We still have to notify the carrier.
I imagine this is a way that agents or brokers could get fired. Meaning, if you email your broker advisor and it goes to a 1-800 or service at xyzagency.com, and they don't actually add that, and then you get in a wreck, you could potentially not even be covered.
Yeah.
Okay, so commercial auto, commercial fleet, they just cover cars for your business, not personal, but 10 is the magic number that the industry or the carriers calls fleet. But in essence, it's still going to cover things like I get in a wreck and it's my fault, it's going to cover it or not.
Yep.
Or there's injuries because of the wreck, it's going to have liability, right? So whether you're commercial auto, 9 vehicles or less, or fleet, 10 and above, those attributes are still going to be in the policy. Is that correct?
Yep.
Is there anything particular coverage that the carriers like to or allow to add or not add or try to add an exclusion? Exclusion just means they got you, the thing that they won't cover because it's got to fleet 10 and above.
Yeah. I think the main thing is just making sure that the insured is notifying their agent of any changes, which sounds super obvious. You have 2 or 3 vehicles personally. Of course, you're going to remember to call your agent. But these business owners, they get 20, 30, 40, 50 trucks. Things are changing without being notified all the time. So I think the biggest thing is just making sure that the business owner is staying on top of the schedule, communicating with their agent, big or small. And then the drivers, you let drive your vehicles. I think you can run into issues if you let someone drive that has a bad driving record. There could be something very serious like a DUI or a super speeder ticket. But what you want to do is just be in the practice of reviewing your motor vehicle reports for any prospective new employees that could drive on the company behalf.
Okay.
Just making sure you're putting good, safe drivers behind the wheel. And then the biggest thing that we're recommending to our clients right now is just installing the dash cameras on the vehicles. So at the end of the day, just making sure you're doing everything you can to be safe out there while you're driving.
Yeah.
Communicating, having a good driver, safety culture. Just doing all those things will help you prevent claims and hopefully keep those premiums down.
If you're a small business with 7, 8 cars or trucks, but you start to grow and hit that magic number 10, when it's commercial auto, it's going to force you potentially to update your policy, update your agent when you get a new vehicle. But when it's in this commercial fleet, that mechanism of forcing you to update the agent or broker for the ID card doesn't always happen. So you could have exposure if 1, you don't understand that, or 2, you've hired an agent who doesn't even tell you that at the time that you renew with that policy. If you have these type of coverages or need them, you're hiring an expert to help you manage this risk. It's not as simple as just getting a quote. It's a lot different than a personal auto home quote. We're in the business and our competition is the agent advisor. If you have a great risk advisor and they're doing all this for you, there's not much BIS can bring to the table. But unfortunately, there's a lot of risk advisors who don't know this, who don't do this, who don't advise, and that's where BIS could probably bring some value. So appreciate you educating me.
Yeah.
Hopefully the audience, if you got any questions, feel free to reach out to BIS at bisbenefits.com.
Thank
Thanks.
you. Appreciate it.